Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be doing a little get ready with me, which I haven't done before. I've done a makeup tutorial which is on my channel, but I haven't done a get ready with me, so I thought I'd try it out. I'm currently staying in this gorgeous place down the coast near Melbourne called Robe, and I had to do my makeup for today's shooting, so I thought you could follow with me, and my hair as well, which I get asked a lot about. I'll just put this up a little bit so the hair's included. I get asked a lot about how I style my hair, how I achieve those curls, and so I'm going to show you. I'm going to put rollers in and we're going to set it, and then I'm going to do my makeup and take it out. So I just spray a little bit of some sort of leave-in conditioner that can make it sort of soft and more easy to work with. And it'll also give it a lot of condition too, a bit of shine. And then this way when it dries, it sets. I don't want it too wet because it can take a very long time to set if I leave it too wet, and I want to get ready relatively quickly this morning, probably within an hour. And then I also put in a tiny little bit of mousse as well, just so it holds that shape. Probably about that much. I do mix it up a lot, like I don't have necessarily a set routine. Some mornings I might use a different product depending on how my hair feels. I guess it's sort of just becoming aware of what works best for you and your hair at the time. So sometimes I don't put mousse in, or if I've just had a shower, I let it towel dry a little bit and I don't need to spray in the leave-in conditioner. But I didn't wash it properly yesterday, so I wanted to put in lots of conditioning. Alright, so I think it's ready to start putting in the rollers. So I just section off a bit of hair. Probably like so. This isn't a fine art. You can sort of take more hair sometimes than others, and I really just go with the flow. So I tend to put bigger rollers at the front or on the top in general, just so I have bigger curls, and then on the sides I use slightly smaller rollers, and then where the hair is particularly short, I use the smallest size. So there we go, I've got my 3 at the front. And now I'm gonna go to the middle here. And then at the back here, I start facing the rollers away from me. And now on the sides here, I'm gonna start using the slightly smaller ones. Especially here where I've got a fair bit of hair, and I tend to put in this direction. So I want the curls to go all the way down. And then here I sort of tend to push it back, maybe with a few smaller ones. I'm gonna put some of the mid-size ones at the very back too. I'll put one little one on this side. There we go. Now, if I sometimes go out for the morning and my hair's not set yet, or I want to grab a coffee and I'm going to be seen in public, I don't tend to just wear the rollers out as is. I'll put them in a scarf of sorts. Sometimes I even do it around the house to save them from falling out, but they tend to be fine. They tend to just stay in there. So I'll just show you how I wrap it up anyway, in case you do want to go out. So I just sort of drape it over my head, right to the back. Lift it up on the sides, cross it over. Okay, that is very unglamorous. I did not do that properly. Oh, no, tuck that in. I look like I've got some sort of dinosaur horn on top of me. All right, anyway, general gist. Probably could have done that a little bit better. But yeah, just wrap it up, let it set. I still feel like this probably is a little bit better than going out just in straight rollers. But there we have it. So I'm gonna get on to the makeup now, and I'm probably gonna take this off. On to the makeup. Now, a little bit like with the rollers in the hair, I sort of just go with the flow. It might not be exactly the same every time. I might use different products depending on how my skin feels, how I'm feeling. So my skin feels a little bit dry, so I'm gonna put on just a really basic moisturizer on my skin before I start putting on the foundation, etc. Just a little bit of moisturizer, rub it in my hands, and then put just a nice thin coating over my face. And now I start off just with a really nice thin base of foundation. I don't like to put too much on my skin because I feel it feels very heavy. I don't think it's particularly good for my skin. And often what I've realized when working with makeup artists that do celebrity makeup, or they're doing covers for magazines and things, or videos, they don't actually put on a lot of foundation or a lot of products on the skin, contrary to what we're taught on YouTube or just in general, when really they put on very, very little and very few products. So I just put on 1 squirt of foundation, that much, and I put that over my whole face. This is a really nice thin foundation too. I don't like ones that are too heavy. Alright, so foundation base done. And now maybe I'll go into putting a bit of concealer on or doing the eyes, but generally I go straight into doing the eyebrows. So I just brush them all up. Now with my eyebrows, I don't tend to pluck them too much other than the little hairs in the middle. I try and keep them as natural as possible. I used to pluck the hell out of them, insert terrible photo here. And then when I stopped doing that, I finally let them grow out, but then I started plucking these little ones here in the middle that stick up. And a makeup artist told me off for doing that, so I stopped doing that, and now I just leave them completely natural, save for the ones here and maybe a few strays around the place. And now that they're brushed up, I just fill them in with, this is just a Benefit little tub of goodness. Sometimes I use eyebrow pencils depending on what I have at hand, but I've been using this for probably a year now and it's fantastic. So you just put the little brush in there, get a little bit on the end, and I sort of just fill it in. Now, as you can see, this one looks very dark, but then I tend to brush through it several times to tone it down a little bit so it's not as dark and looks a little bit more natural. There we go. So I tend to only need, for my eyebrows anyway, to fill in the ends here. I don't usually do any filling here, but it really depends on your eyebrow shape, the thickness of them, where they're thick, I suppose. But for me, at the ends of my eyebrows, I find they're a lot more sparse than they are here. They're very thick here. So I just bring in that volume on the ends. And now I just brush through with a brow sculpting gel, just so they hold their shape. Sometimes I use hairspray on just the end of an eyebrow brush and I brush it through because hairspray tends to hold them really, really well if I don't have eyebrow gel. But this seems to do the trick. Alrighty, onto the eyes. So I normally like to put a little bit of shimmer on the eyelids themselves. So I got this in New York last year when I was there, and it's just got really pretty shimmery shades in it. I tend to go with this one, as you can see. It's the one that's been used the most. Sometimes a golden is pretty. Maybe I'll go with a golden today just to mix it up. There we go, it's just subtle. And now I'll go into eyeliner. Now, with a lot of my products that I use, foundations, concealers, eyeshadows, hair products, I tend to mix them up. I don't have any set products that I use every time, but with my eyeliner, because it's something that I have been doing since grade 8 and I've tried out a lot of different eyeliners, I've found one that works for me that I always use. And it's the Rimmel Glamize one. I just find the tip of it's very fine. It's very easy for me to apply. I know some people prefer to use gels, so you just gotta find what works for you, for your eye shape, for your hand. I'll just show you, it's got a very, very fine tip. Now with winged liner, because I've been doing it for so long, I don't need to go a particular way. Sometimes I find that just drawing out this part here first, doing a line from the corner upwards, is the easiest thing when you're starting off, because you know that's where it ends, and then you can just paint the top and then join it to this line. I'm starting to feel like I'm not naked anymore. Eyeliner is something that if I'm doing my makeup, it's a must. Eyeliner and eyebrows. If nothing at all, I do my eyebrows, the next thing I do is eyeliner. My eyeliner is never exactly the same one day to the next. And also, the eyes are never exactly the same. Not just one day to the next. For example, this eyeliner is starting to look a little bit different from this one. It's probably something I alone can tell. But if you look closely enough, you can definitely realize. Okay, eyeliner done. Concealer. So with this as well, I don't put too much. I put it on quite sparingly. Just under the eyes, here on just the top of the bridge of the nose. And then just on maybe some spots. And under my nose, I have quite a bit of redness, so I like to put it there. You don't need to if you don't have that redness. And then just on the inner corners of the eyes, because I have quite heavy, darker bits there. There you go. And then either blend it in with my hands, I do like to use my hands a lot, or just with the brush. I also don't like to put too much on my skin because when I'm smiling or there's creases, I find that the concealer and foundation often settles in those creases and it just doesn't look particularly inviting. So I just like that more natural look. They also say that as you get older and you do have more fine lines and things, that you need to use thinner foundations and concealers so that it doesn't all sit and crease. But it just doesn't make sense because when you're younger, you don't have as much to hide supposedly. So why would you put heavier foundation on when you're younger and then as you get older you put it on thin and thin? Like, I think it just should be thin all the time. But that's just me. I'm not I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a YouTube makeup artist. This is just what I find looks best for me in videos and photos in general, and also on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to have it too heavy. Alrighty, so we're almost there. I guess now I'll do the eyelashes. I like to put on, when I'm doing shoots and things, quite nice thick lashes, or often half lashes I find are really nice if you're doing a photo shoot or you're going out, just a half set of natural looking lashes. But I discovered these lashes, they're called Glam by Manicare, and I just really like them because they curl right up and open up the eye, and you can see the little lashes when your eyes are just open and they don't sit forward. I get funny reactions to a lot of glues. I think I'm yet to find a eyelash glue that doesn't give me any reaction whatsoever. I've started using this the past couple of days and it doesn't seem too bad, but I still get a little bit itchy and irritated. Not as much as other glues I've noticed that can make me swell up and I can't put on makeup for days. Alrighty, so there are the lashes. As you can see, they curl up a lot. They're a little bit 60s almost. Now I don't normally, if I can, I avoid putting on mascara because I don't like to put too much on my lashes. I'm already putting on all this glue and everything. But see, I find that I don't really need to put on much mascara to blend them in because I feel like they blend in quite well as it is. And if I put on mascara and then put on the lashes, I find that you can actually see the separation a little bit more. So I normally just go straight and put the lashes on. If I'm putting a half set of lashes, I do tend to put mascara through it because this side doesn't have any lashes in it. So the mascara then sort of blends it in more nicely and thickens them up. I think we're almost done. Maybe a little bit of highlighter. So I've just, I feel like people that do this for a living, making YouTube videos about makeup, would be appalled at some of the products I'm using, but this works for me. And makeup artists I've worked with often have guilty little things in their makeup box that they spent $2 on at the chemist or something, and it works well for them and they like it. So I've just got this eyeshadow that I've had now probably for 2 years or more, who knows, maybe several years, and I find it's a really nice highlighter. So I just put a little dab on my nose. It's just like a white sparkly eyeshadow and I think it looks really nice. And now recently I've started putting a little bit of blush on. Just a tiny bit, and then blend, blend, blend. It's just soft and pretty like that. I don't really do much in the way of contouring, mainly because I'm not very good at it. And secondly, I don't feel like it's a necessity, especially with the sort of softer, more vintage 50s looks. If I'm doing more of an 80s or a modern look, I would want that contour there in the cheeks a bit more. But normally I'd get a makeup artist to do that because it's not my forte. Now, what I use for lips is Lip Sense. Now, I have been using mainly this. It is my other go-to product probably. Lip Sense, it's a funny brand because it's under that sort of pyramid scheme that you find the Tupperware type things are under. So you have to find someone that sells them in your area, I think. And I had just a family friend that was selling them, so I went over and we played around with them and I really liked them, so I bought a bunch and I've just had them since, and they've lasted me over a year, so I'm pretty happy with them. And what I love most about them is they don't come off. They stay on most of the day. You might need to reapply a little bit, but mostly they stay on all day. So here we go. This color is called Blue Red. I actually need to find someone that I can buy more of this off of, because I definitely rely on it. The only thing is, using this makes it really hard. If you want to change your lipstick, you have to scrub a dub to get this off and change it. Now, you cannot rub your lips together with this because it will stick. It's a funny lipstick. Okay. I can't even really let my lips sit together because it gets stuck. And then this is where I put this on. Gotta wait for it to dry. And then I put this on and then my lips can go together, and it adds a nice gloss and moisturizes there. Okay, there we go. And now I guess maybe it's the time to take out the rollers. Feels pretty dry. I have often taken it out and it's still a bit wet and hasn't held, but it's looking fine. There we go. I think I've taken them all out. And then I just give it a little brush. Because my hair is bleached, and it's quite weak, it is easy to sort of mold into place. And also that little bit of mousse I put in really helps with that too. Now, sometimes I put a little bit of hairspray. Usually I don't, because I find my hair does hold quite well. But if I am going outside to shoot and there's wind and things, I do want that little bit of extra hold, so I definitely would put a hairspray on in those situations. I might put just a little bit in now. Oh, that's probably enough. Now, one trick I will show you, you can get a toothbrush, works really well, or an eyebrow pencil, and you spray the end of the toothbrush or said eyebrow pencil with a bit of hairspray, and then you go in to the finer hairs around your head, and you can get rid of those little flyaways and make it a lot more structured and clean. There we go. We are done, ready to shoot. Now, I did do a little shoot in this yesterday, but it was a little bit more sensual, so that shoot will be going up on my Patreon site. But I do want to shoot in this today with it. I haven't even shown you, with it actually for mainstream social medias, and also a little video in it for YouTube, just because it is such a gorgeous robe. I think it would look beautiful shot in many different ways. But yeah, the one I shot in last night, that will go up on my Patreon in the not too distant future. Alrighty, I will see you guys soon, and I might insert some photos that we take today of this robe so you can have a look at the final product with the hair and makeup and everything. So thank you so much for watching today's Get Ready With Me video. If you want to support me more in creating videos like this, or you want to see the photos and videos that I can't post on my mainstream social medias, they go up on my Patreon, which I have linked in the description below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!